Chelsea move one step closer to securing top 4. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to another match review. This is West Ham 0, Chelsea 1. What a good result for Chelsea. We really needed this win. West Ham had one of the best home records, second to only Man City going into this game, and Chelsea have a really good away record as well, and just the fact that they're not really conceding all of that many goals. So it was always going to be a matter of something has to give in this game, and I did feel that Chelsea had a lot of the possession, a lot of chances, but you only got one goal for it. We're gonna get into all of that right now. Firstly, let's take a look at the starting 11. Edouard Mendy comes back into goal, and then we see an interesting back five of Azpilicueta, Christensen, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Ben Chilwell. So this was a little surprising to me when it came out. Thomas Tuchel has said that he wanted to play the 3 center backs to get a little bit of height because West Ham are really strong on set pieces. They've scored, I think, the first or second most in the league this season. So he wanted to gain a couple of inches there, and Azpilicueta is not the tallest center back, so he moved him over to right wing back. Really shows, I think, that he's resting Reece James for the Real Madrid game, but also it's kind of interesting because it seems that Callum has kind of lost his place a little bit, that normally we would have seen Callum play there. I think that could have been something that we saw just so that Callum gives us like another attacking edge, but it seemed that Tuchel wanted to really focus on the defensive aspect, and Chilwell holding onto his spot at this left wing back role ahead of Marcus Alonso. We see a pivot of Conte and Jorginho, no Billy Gilmore to be seen, Mason Mount in that 10, and then up front we see Pulisic and Werner. And I was also kind of surprised about this one, because I don't quite like when they play together, because I feel like they occupy very similar spaces. They both really like to occupy like the left wing central role, kind of like around there, and you know, we're seeing Timo come more onto the right, and we saw it more in this game, but I find that sometimes they're occupying similar spaces, so they're kind of on top of each other, and so it's not like as effective as if a Pulisic and a Havertz were playing together, or a Timo and a Ziyech. That's just kind of like two different players that occupy very different spaces. We can see from this positional report from Who Scored that we did play again in a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 formation, and actually Mason and Timo Werner occupied very similar spaces, but I honestly felt like Mason was all over the pitch and Pulisic stayed more on the left, but in previous games I do feel like we've seen Pulisic and Werner like really overlapping each other, and I just don't feel like they're like super effective together. Maybe they just don't necessarily have like that chemistry with each other yet, because I spoke in my preview video that I felt like Pulisic and Havertz were kind of gaining a chemistry, and that Ziyech and Timo were gaining a chemistry with each other, so it's just kind of surprising there. But you know, maybe we'll see Ziyech and Havertz against Real Madrid now. Like, I really can't read this man's tactics at all. Looking at the match, I felt like Chelsea had the majority of the possession, like I expected them to. In the end, it ended up being 56%, but I think even in the first half, it felt like a lot more, maybe 60, even 70%. I felt that Chelsea had a lot of the ball, but again, it's like a matter of not really being able to do that much with it, which I think is frustrating. West Ham really looked like the stronger side at the end of the first half, but then comes the Timo Werner goal. I was really happy that he scored. You know, he's missing some chances, but he scored this goal. It was really great work from him initially. Ben Chilwell with a great assist, and Timo, it just stayed in his position, kind of knew the ball was coming to him and slotted it home. It was a really good finish, and I think that we've been seeing that momentum of like from coming in from the left or from the right and trying to pull back the ball, and the striker waiting in the box. It seems like they're practicing that on the training ground, and it came off today. Timo Werner scored that, but missed a sitter, so it's still a bit of an uneven performance from Timo Werner. I really want to see him take advantage and, you know, score 2 goals, or at least if you don't have those opportunities, you know, you're just scoring the one and not completely missing the sitter. But hopefully, he can take this and continue with it. He's been contributing to assists. We've seen that, but I really want to see him start getting more and more goals as well, because he's a striker and that's what he should be doing. Speaking of Timo Werner, he's actually not doing that bad in the league this season. He has 12 goal contributions, 6 goals, 6 assists. So it's really not like a terrible season, but I think that we just all expected him to bang in like 20 plus goals. So hopefully this is like an adjustment period, getting used to the Premier League, and then we can move on. Speaking of goals and assists, Ben Chilwell now has 3 goals and 7 assists, so 10 goal contributions so far in the league this season. So he's been playing better and better. He started off really well, then kind of dipped a bit, and then now he's getting back to his best self, and he's looked pretty strong defensively still. In the game yesterday, I was a little bit worried, but overall a really great performance from him. In total, Chelsea had an expected goal of 2.34. We had 17 total shots and 6 which were on target, so you really expect Chelsea to be getting like 2 or even 3 goals in this game. We just haven't been outscoring opponents by that much. And in their previous 4 games, West Ham let in 2 goals in 2 games and 3 goals in 2 games. So really over 2 goals in 4 games. So we really should have been scoring more. It's kind of the drawback of this Chelsea team right now. Defending incredibly well, keeping clean sheets, but just not taking advantage of all of the possession and chances that we create. Like we are seeing chances created, but it's just not getting executed, not being clinical enough, and nobody's really stepping up. Like I never feel super confident in who's going to be the goal scorer. So that's something that definitely we need to work on, and I think it's going to come with just more experience and chemistry playing together. Looking at some standout players, I thought that Thiago Silva had a great game. Ben Chilwell had a pretty good game as well. Did really well for the assist. N'Golo Kante looked good. Will be interesting to see if he's fit enough to play against Real Madrid. I really think that he has to start against Real Madrid. And obviously, my man Mason Mount, he's incredible. I'm running out of good things to say about him because he's just everywhere, and he's so young and he's only going to get better. But listen to this: Mason Mount's stats versus West Ham: 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, 2 out of 3 long balls, almost 90% pass completion, 3 shots on target, 3 out of 5 dribbles completed, 9 out of 15 ground duels won, 4 tackles, 1 interception, 1 clearance, 1 block shot. He literally does everything. He's good going forward. He contributes defensively as well. He's my man of the match personally. I really am so impressed with him. Then of course I have to give a shout out to Timo. He scored the goal. Without him it would have been a draw, so massive up Timo, but he needs to be putting away more of those chances. Looking at how the result impacts us, Chelsea stay in 4th but go 3 points clear of West Ham in 5th, so the chances of top 4 getting more and more likely, but still we have to be winning our games. It's completely in our hands. It's kind of frustrating because if we had won against Brighton, we could have been 5 points clear, which would be like a really good buffer, but 3 points, massive game. We still have to play Leicester as well, recording this video before the Leicester game, so we'll see how that shakes out. But overall, top 4 still in Chelsea's hands, but Chelsea have some really difficult opponents yet to face: Aston Villa, Leicester, Man City, Arsenal, just a few of them. So it's really important that Chelsea just keep this momentum and keep winning. Now, all eyes ahead on that Real Madrid game. I'll definitely be putting out a ton. I have so much content planned for that, so I'll keep you guys updated. Hope you enjoyed this match review. If you liked it, please drop it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We're coming up on 5K, which would be super cool if we could do that before the end of the season. Let's see. And yeah, until next time, I'm out.